for our What in the World segment. If you think the Trump administration is totally dysfunctional, think again. There are areas where it has been amazingly effective in implementing its agenda, nowhere more so than the criminal justice system. Now, you may recall that in recent years, many American politicians on both sides of the aisle have tried to reform America's criminal justice system with good reason. The U.S. has the highest incarceration rate in the world, with 2.2 million locked up, tens upon tens of thousands of them for relatively long periods for minor, non-violent drug offenses. On the left and right, most experts agree that the decades-old war on crime has failed abysmally, creating a dysfunctional system that recently cost the country $80 billion in a single year. But not Attorney General Jeff Sessions. In fact, Sessions is introducing sentencing and drug directives that harken back to the worst days of the war on crime. He's even outmaneuvered the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, who has tried to push for criminal justice reform in the White House, the New York Times reports. As the U.S. moves to lock people up, it might be worth looking at another rich country that has so few inmates it is actually closing prisons. The government in the Netherlands closed 19 of nearly 60 prisons in the past several years, according to the New York Times. 3,000 prison cells are expected to lie empty by 2021. The prison population decreased by half in a decade, going from a peak of more than 20,000 in 2006 to just over 10,000 in 2016. So why is this happening? Well, embedded in the Dutch legal system is a deep pragmatism, says René van Swanigen, a criminologist in Rotterdam, in an interview. No one wants to deal with the expense and the inconvenience of a ballooning prison population. For years, Dutch courts have done whatever they could to avoid prison sentences. The Vera Institute for Justice noted in a 2013 report that just 10% of convicts were sent to prison in the Netherlands in 2004. The rest had some combination of community service, probation, and fines, which in the U.S. is often tacked onto prison sentences rather than offered in lieu of them. Dutch courts also do whatever they can to avoid long sentences. In the U.S., federal prisoners on average stay more than 3 years. In the Netherlands, inmates stay an average of just over 3 months. And unlike American prisons that seem designed to exact vengeance and destruction on their inmates, the Dutch system is built around bringing convicts back into society. That's why just 33 people are currently serving life sentences in Dutch prisons. That's 0.3% of the country's inmates, compared to 7% of U.S. inmates serving life sentences. And none of this translated to an increase in crime. From 2007 to 2017, crime in the Netherlands reduced by nearly 39%. There's some evidence that this pragmatism was catching on. 40 years into America's failed approach to crime, the country seemed to be learning from its mistakes. During the Obama administration, prosecutors were encouraged to pursue lenient sentencing. For the first time in decades, the federal prison population went down. But Sessions speedily reversed the Obama-era guidance. In a recent speech to police chiefs in Nashville, he complained about the slight reduction in the federal prison population.
I mean, it's a factor, I think, in crime in our country. We got some space to put some people, I gotta say to you.
America has less than 5% of the world's population and more than 20% of the world's prisoners. The goal should not be to fill prisons, but in a responsible way to empty them.
Want a daily dose of Fareed and his team? Now you can get it with Fareed's Global Briefing, the newsletter that gives you the best insight and analysis on global affairs. Go to cnn.com/Fareed to sign up.